You know, there's a fundamental principle of life that once you really truly get it, everything changes. And the crazy part is, it's not hidden away in some ancient vault. It's happening right now all around you, shaping your entire reality. The trick isn't finding it, it's just recognizing it.
So what if there was a law, a real law, that could unlock the life you've always wanted? I'm talking about a life with more abundance, more success, and just more ease. Well, that law is real, and by the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly how it works.
This whole thing really goes back to this legendary challenge. The industrialist Andrew Carnegie says this to a young journalist, Napoleon Hill. He basically sends him on a 20-year quest to interview the most successful people on the planet to find this one master key, this single idea that unlocks all success.
To find that key, we've got to know where to look. And the great teacher Bob Proctor, he broke it down perfectly. He said we live in two worlds at the same time, the visible world and the invisible one. And guess what? Most of us spend our entire lives trying to make changes in the wrong world.
Think of your life like a tree. We are obsessed with the fruits, right? Our bank account, our job title, our health. That's the visible world. It's the world of effect. But where does the fruit come from? It comes from the roots, which are buried underground in the invisible world of cause. Those roots, that's your thoughts, your beliefs, your deep-seated feelings. You will never change the fruit by staring at it. You have to change the root. All real change starts in the invisible.
Okay, let's make this real. Let's talk about Michael. To everyone looking in, he's got it all figured out. He's successful, but on the inside, he feels like he is pushing a giant boulder up a steep hill every single day. And every night, it just rolls back down. He's working harder and harder in the visible world, and he's getting absolutely nowhere.
And then one day, it just hits him, like a lightning bolt. This profound realization that his struggle, that boulder, wasn't just influenced by his inner world, it was being created by it, entirely, completely. This is the first huge step to unlocking the whole secret.
So, how does this creation thing actually work? Because this isn't just about chanting a few positive affirmations. Oh no, it goes way deeper than that. We have to talk about the automatic operating system that's running your life when you're not even looking, your subconscious blueprint.
All right, get ready for this number because it is staggering. Scientists suggest that 95% of our life, our decisions, our knee-jerk reactions, our habits, is run by our subconscious mind. It's just on autopilot. That leaves a tiny 5% for our conscious in the driver's seat choices. Just let that sink in for a second. This is why willpower fails. We're using that little 5% to wage war against 95% of programming we don't even know is there.
And that programming, that 95%, it has a name. It's called a paradigm. Just think of it like the software installed on your computer at birth. It's a collection of habits and beliefs, mostly handed down from your family and your environment, that's buried deep in your subconscious. It is the invisible blueprint that dictates every result you get in your life.
So Michael finally realized his paradigm, his core programming, was all about scarcity and struggle. He grew up hearing things like, life is hard and money doesn't grow on trees. And so, without him even knowing it, his subconscious mind was working 24/7 to create situations that just kept proving that old program was right.
And that's the whole ball game. If you want to change your life, you can't just try harder on the outside. It's pointless. You have to change the program. You have to literally rewrite your inner code. The question is, how? This brings us right back to Napoleon Hill's big discovery. But here's the thing. Almost everyone misses the most important word in this quote. It's not conceive. Anyone can dream up an idea. The magic word is believe. And belief isn't just a fleeting thought you have. No, it's a deep, gut-level, cellular knowing. It's a feeling, a vibration that you impress on that subconscious mind. Bob Proctor taught a super simple method for this called imprinting. It's 3 steps. First, you pick one new, powerful idea. For Michael, it was, I am worthy of abundance and it flows to me naturally. Step 2, you impress it on your subconscious mind every single day with real feeling. And step 3, and this is the tough one, you persist. You keep going even when your old paradigm is screaming in your ear that you're a fool and a liar. And right here, this is where most people fail. See, there's a gestation period for an idea, just like a seed. You can't plant a seed on Monday and dig it up on Wednesday to see if it's growing. Most people give up after a few days because they don't see results in the visible world. But it takes at least 21 to 30 days of consistent imprinting for a new habit of thought to even start forming.
Michael got this, so he committed to 60 days, no matter what. And on day 63, something amazing happened. It's not like he won the lottery. The miracle was all internal. He just realized the boulder he'd been pushing his whole life was gone. And this is the key. The hill didn't get easier. The world didn't change. He did. He stopped creating the struggle with his own internal resistance.
So you see, what Michael discovered wasn't just a cool self-help trick. He tapped into an unbreakable, impersonal law of the universe, a law that works every single time just like gravity. It doesn't care who you are, it just responds.
We've all heard that little phrase, thoughts become things. But honestly, it's a bit of an oversimplification. The true flow of creation is a little more specific. Your thoughts generate your feelings. Your feelings drive your actions, and your actions produce your results. That's why trying to change your actions first, without fixing the thoughts and feelings that cause them, is like trying to change your reflection by yelling at the mirror. It just doesn't work. And this brings us to maybe the most important word of all. Look at that quote. The key word is dominant. It's not your occasional hopeful positive thought that creates your reality. It's the thought pattern that's running in the background 95% of the time, the one that's fueled by your paradigm. That is the true signal you are broadcasting out into the universe. So after all of this, what is it? What's the master key that Napoleon Hill spent 2 decades of his life searching for? What's the one principle that unlocks everything else? Here it is, in its purest, simplest form. Your consciousness is the cause of everything in your life, period. The physical world you see, feel, and touch is simply the effect. It's the printout of what's going on inside. You're not a body that has a mind. You are a center of consciousness that is expressing itself through a body. Napoleon Hill figured it out. You have to give before you can get. But what you're meant to give isn't just more sweat and hard work. It's your belief. It's your faith. It is the absolute unshakable knowing that what you want is already a done deal in that invisible world of cause, and you're just waiting for it to show up. And when you can do that, when you can hold that feeling and that belief day in and day out, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new inner reality. And why? Because that's not just a wish. It's not hope. That's law. You know that feeling? Maybe you're driving home or just sitting in silence, and this quiet, nagging thought just sort of shows up. It lands with this thud you can feel right in your chest. Yeah, that feeling. It's this deep, unsettling realization that the life you're living and the life you're supposed to be living, well, they've drifted apart. It's not some big, dramatic explosion. It's more like a whisper, but man, it is a heavy one. And it means something's got to give. But here's the thing, and this is a huge mental shift we need to make right now. That feeling, it isn't the starting line. It's not a sign that you failed. It's actually a vital milestone, smack in the middle of a journey you've been on your whole life. You're just now really waking up to it. So let's start right there, in that uh-oh moment. That feeling when you realize the map you've been following is taking you somewhere you really don't want to go. We're calling this first part the uncomfortable truth. So, to make this real, let's talk about someone we'll call Sarah. Now, she's not a real person, but her story, it's every person's story. For 15 years, Sarah did everything by the book. She climbed the ladder, became a senior partner at a top law firm, exactly what she was supposed to do. And then one random Tuesday morning, it hit her like a ton of bricks. Her ladder was leaning against the completely wrong wall. She didn't want to win another case. Deep down, she just wanted to open a small bookstore. So how does that even happen? How does a smart, driven person like Sarah wake up 15 years down a road she never really chose? How do any of us get so far from home? Well, the answer is usually found in what we're calling the echoes of the past. Get a load of this number. Every single day, your brain makes somewhere around 35,000 decisions. That is a staggering number, and it kind of makes you wonder, who's actually at the wheel for all of those? Because the truth is, the vast majority of them aren't conscious choices at all. They're echoes. They're the programming from our parents, our culture, our society. It's that automatic yes to a project you don't have time for because you were taught to be a team player. It's the career path you're on because of a casual comment a teacher made a decade ago. We're all living out these blueprints that we never consciously chose for ourselves. Sarah finally had to face this when she asked herself the one question she'd been running from her entire life. If nobody was watching, What would I actually want? And the answer that came back was just a deafening, terrifying silence. Now, that silence, as scary as it is, it almost never lasts. It's kind of the quiet before the storm, because soon enough, it gets filled by this powerful, raw emotion we're all taught to push down: anger. And that brings us to our next big idea. Anger is information. The research here is pretty amazing. As you can see, the data shows that people who actually let themselves feel and face their anger, anger at the lost time, at the buried dreams, they are 3 times more likely to make real, lasting change than people who just try to suppress it. 3 times. That's huge.
So, let this really sink in for a second. That burning feeling in your gut, it is not a character flaw. It's not the enemy. It is a high-priority message from a part of yourself that has been ignored for way, way too long.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Her rage was proof. Think about that. It was the undeniable evidence that somewhere deep down, a part of her was still fighting for what she really wanted. You only get angry about things you still care about. It's a sign of life, not a sign of being broken.
Okay, so if anger is the signal flare, what's the next move? Logically, you'd think it's time to act, right? To do something. But here's the twist. The most powerful move you can make isn't a move at all. And this brings us to the toughest part of the whole journey, the paradox of stillness.
To actually move forward, you have to stop. But our whole culture screams at us to hustle, to grind, to keep moving. So is it really any surprise that the average person spends, get this, less than 2% of their entire life in genuine self-reflection? We avoid stillness because that's where the truth lives. And, well, the truth can be pretty uncomfortable.
In one of those rare moments of stillness, Sarah wrote this in her journal. "I've been living like I'm running out of time, but I've been running from time." Wow, what an insight. We use busyness like a shield, don't we? We fill every quiet moment with noise and distractions so we don't have to ask ourselves the hard questions.
And this resistance, it's not just in your head, it's biological. There's this concept called homeostasis. Think of it like a thermostat for your life. Your nervous system is designed to keep everything at a familiar temperature, even if that temperature is miserably comfortable. So when you try to change, your whole internal system screams danger and tries to yank you right back to the suffering it knows. It prefers a familiar struggle over an uncertain new beginning. So when Sarah started acting on her truth, simple things like turning down a promotion to take a writing class on the weekend, her whole world pushed back. Her boss was confused, her parents were worried she was throwing away her amazing career, her own system and all the systems around her fought like hell to pull her back to the normal she was trying so hard to escape. And that pushback from inside you and from the people around you, it can feel like everything is just falling apart. It can feel like you're breaking down. But what if that feeling isn't the end? What if it's the beginning? That's what we're going to get into in our final section, from breakdown to breakthrough.
This right here might be the most powerful idea of all. A breakdown and a breakthrough, they aren't two separate things. They are often the exact same event, just viewed from a different angle. It's the moment the old structure finally gives way so that something new has room to grow.
And this isn't some new age idea, by the way. This is ancient wisdom. In Mandarin Chinese, the word for crisis is made of 2 characters. One means danger and the other means opportunity. That moment of greatest danger is also the moment of greatest possibility. The collapse is what gives you the raw material to build something real. To bring this all home, let's use one last really powerful analogy. It starts like this. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by trying harder to be a caterpillar. It can't just keep improving on its old self. It could be the fastest, best caterpillar in the world, but that will never, ever make it fly. Real transformation means you have to completely let go of what you were. And this is the key to the whole thing. It has to dissolve completely first. Inside that chrysalis, it literally turns into this primordial soup, just goo. It has to become nothing before it can become everything it's meant to be. That messy, soupy, dissolving part, that isn't a mistake in the process. It is the process. So if you are in that soupy, dissolving, terrifying place right now, if you feel like your world and your very identity are coming apart at the seams, I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not lost. You are not failing. Good. That means you're right on time.